मुझे नहीं चाहिए कुर्सी, मुझे नहीं चाहिए कुर्सी, मुझे नहीं चाहिए। कुर्सी में बैठना था तो उधर ही बैठ देते।
सही कह रहा, मैं इसलिए रखा तो उन्होंने कहा
ये काम करेगा।
ठीक है,
एक और बोर्ड भी हमने अरेंज किया बस।
ठीक है। ये इसका स्टैंड नहीं है ना, ये थोड़ा सा लिखने में है वो
ताकि आपको राइटिंग में मसला ना हो, ये लगे ना। हमने स्टैंड वाला भी अरेंज किया है, शायद अभी पहुंच जाए।
फाइन, विल लेट। आज के लिए तो ठीक है, आज के लिए तो करते हैं शुरू। वेट कितना वेट करें ना?
हाँ नहीं बिस्मिल्लाह करें, बाद में इसको कर देंगे आज दोबारा।
ठीक है। सलवात पढ़ लीजिए एक। अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम। बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन। वस्सलातु वस्सलामु अला सय्यिदिल अंबिया'i वल मुरसलीन सय्यिदिना व नबिय्यिना व शफ़ी'i ज़ुनूबिना व तबीबि क़ुलूबिना अबुल क़ासिम मुहम्मद व अला अहलि बैतिहि अत्तय्यबीन अत्ताहिरीन अल-मअसूमीन। अम्मा बअद फ़क़द नुसिबा इलल इमाम। बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। तफ़क्कुरु साअतिन खैरुम मिन इबादति सना। From today we are going to start a 6-day workshop on a very important topic, the topic of Tawheed. Okay? And this is the starting point for any journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. हर इंसान को खुदा की तरफ सफ़र करना है, उसका सफ़र का आगाज़ ये नुक्ता है। ठीक है? We have lived our lives but we did not formally go through this training. So hopefully inshallah, and this is not going to be a one-way monologue session where मैं बोल रहा हूँ और आप सुन रहे हैं. No, it is going to be interactive. ठीक है? So you have the freedom to interrupt and ask questions. ठीक है? And similarly, I will have the freedom to ask questions. ठीक है? मजलिस में आप लोगों को बुलवाना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है. ठीक है? लेकिन यहाँ पर ये नारे तो लगवा लेते हैं लोग, लेकिन जो है वो आपसे ना जवाब लेना, वो दिस इज गोइंग टू हैपन इंशाल्लाह. हदीस इमाम से मंसूब है, फरमाया तफक्कुरु साअतिन, a moment of contemplation is better than 1 year of worship. A moment's contemplation is better than 1 year of worship. एक लम्हे का तफक्कुर साल की इबादत से अफजल है. Why? Question, why? Yes? The Quran was revealed. वो रमज़ान की बात नहीं हो रही कि रमज़ान क्यों बेहतर है, वो अल्फ़े शहर वाली बात है. नहीं नहीं, in any time of the year, एक मोमेंट ऑफ contemplation. क्यों फ़र्क है एक साल की इबादत से? एक आंसर का you understand. Anything else? वेरी गुड. दोनों आंसर्स तकरीबन सेम है. वी कैन कंबाइन द टू कि वो इबादत जो बगैर मारिफत के हो. ठीक है? जब आप तफक्कुर करते हैं, व्हेन यू डू तफक्कुर, when you contemplate, you get to results that you did not know before. And once you know that, and then you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or do any act, that act will have a profound depth. And because of that profound depth, it will be valued many times more. Okay? So, in another tradition, it says that a moment of contemplation is better khairum min ibadati sittina sana. 70 years of worship. एक लम्हे की तफक्कुर is better than 70 years of worship. So we can understand क्यों important. लेकिन question, imams don't say contradictory things, do they? एक रिवायत में 1 साल की इबादत, दूसरी रिवायत में 70 years की इबादत. Why is this apparent contradiction? Okay, others? So, okay, so can I say depth of contemplation? What else? Anything else that can be added? Importance करना कि difference क्यों है ये? That is also a way to just to emphasize that it's important. That is one of the emphasis. What else? One more topic. One thing more can be added. The topic of contemplation. Alaikum salam. आप किस चीज के ऊपर तफक्कुर कर रहे हैं? एक दफा at one point you're thinking about how to earn a halal livelihood. That has its reward. At one point you're contemplating about the basic fundamental question, why did Allah send me in this world? What is my responsibility in this world? मुझे खुदा ने खल्क क्यों किया? मेरा responsibility towards Allah क्या है? This is a different topic, and some topics will be valued much more than the other topics. Now, आप लोगों ने जिसने दुआ you had answered before, tafakkur will lead to, what is tafakkur? What is contemplation? Pondering, reflection. What happens as a result? Okay, let me give you an example. If I say gold with this watch is made of gold. So this is one factual statement that you know. Okay? Then there's another statement, gold is expensive. If you combine these two statements, what do you get? What do you get combining these two statements? This watch is made of gold. Gold is expensive. नतीजा क्या मिलेगा?
उसकी
This watch is expensive. Two statements को आपने combine किया, you got a third new result. ठीक है? Tafakkur, contemplation increases your ma'rifat. Okay? It increases your knowledge, it increases your understanding, it increases your ma'rifat. Okay? Everybody here has a different level of ma'rifat. हम दीन को एक खास हद तक समझते हैं. Now the dangerous statement I'm going to make here, very dangerous statement. देखिए आप सब यहाँ पर 1 घंटा 2 घंटे बैठेंगे, इबादत करेंगे, ठीक है? You will be sitting here for an hour or 2 or whatever. Not everybody will leave with the same sawab. Not everybody will leave with the same sawab. Sawab will be different. That sawab will depend on focus, attention, ikhlas. What will it depend on? Let me narrate a story from Al-Kafi. There's a story. The 2 angels were passing by. They saw a person, an abid person who was in an island worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Beautiful island worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They were impressed with this ibadat. Okay? So they turned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and said, we want to see the reward of this person in the hereafter. Jannat mein isko tu kya ajr dene wala hai? Kaun si jannat milegi isko? Allah showed him the reward that he was going to get. When they looked at the reward, they said, this is too little. सोचिए वो खुदा जो बखील नहीं है जज़ा देने में. God is not a miser. The angels are impressed with this ibadat. They want to see the result in the hereafter. Allah shows them their reward and they think this is too little. So Allah said to them, go and spend some time with this person. So वो आते हैं इस बंदे के साथ time spend करते हैं. They spend some time with this person. They say, oh, we've heard about your ibadat. We want to spend some time with you. He permits them. The next day when they're walking outside in the grass, this angel says to this person, what a beautiful place to worship Allah. कितनी खूबसूरत जगह है, इस जगह पे अल्लाह ही की इबादत होनी चाहिए. The person says, you're right, but there's one problem. So what is the problem? You look at all that, this grass that is growing is going to waste. If Allah had a donkey, I would take Allah's donkey and graze it in the fields. अगर खुदा का गधा होता, ठीक है ना, प्रॉब्लम ये कि खुदा का कोई गधा नहीं है, ठीक है? So the angels were surprised. Hey, your God does not have a donkey. Well, that is the problem. If he had one, at that point, it was revealed to the angels that my reward is based on the intellect that they have, and another riwayat, the ma'rifat that they have. So you get that from the other riwayat if you bring that, put them together. So jo ajr, the reward that we are all going to get, you sit in a majlis, you cry, you shed a tear on Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. Everybody is shedding a tear. But every tear is valued differently. जितनी उस टीयर के पीछे मारिफत ज्यादा है, ठीक है, उतना ही वो आंसू हकदार है कि जनाबे सैयदा के रुमाल की जीनत बने, ठीक है. So the more मारिफत you increase, the more your ibadat will be valued. Okay? So these sessions, 5 or 6 sessions that we are going to have inshallah, these sessions are regarding increasing our marifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? Through tafakkur, through contemplation, through questioning. Any questions? So let me start with the first question, and if ladies are on the other side, if they have questions, I think they have set up something where they can send their questions via WhatsApp and they can get addressed. I'm sorry? So question I'm going to ask you, why are you a Muslim? That's the most honest answer you can give. आप मुसलमान क्यों हैं?
देखिए पैदा हो गया.
Born in a Muslim family. Okay. Is that valuable? The Holy Quran क्या कहता है? وَإِذَا أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمِ اتَّبِعُوا مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ. When it is said to them, follow what Allah has revealed, قالوا, they say, बल नत्तबिउ मा वजदना अलैहि आबाअना, हम तो उस बात की पैरवी करेंगे जिस पर हमने अपने माँ बाप को पाया. We'll follow what our fathers have been doing. So if we are Muslims because our parents were Muslim, जो हिंदू है वो हिंदू है, उसके वो हिंदू घराने में पैदा हो गया, जो सिख है वो इसलिए सिख है कि वो उस घराने में पैदा हो गया, क्रिश्चियन जो है इसलिए क्रिश्चियन है वो उस घराने में पैदा हो गया. फिर आपका क्या कमाल है? आपको जन्नत मिल जाए उनको ना मिले, काम तो दोनों एक ही कर रहे हैं. आप भी अपने वालिदैन की इताअत कर रहे हैं, वो भी अपने वालिदैन के दीन पर हैं, आप भी अपने वालिदैन के दीन पर हैं. So why you should be going to Jannah, not them? वो कह रहे हैं आप इन बुतों की इबादत नहीं कर रहे. We are all on the same page then. तो कुरान इसके बाद कहता है वलो कान शैतान यदऊहुम इला अज़ाब अस्सईर, even you would follow your parents even if shaitan is inviting them to the azab as-sa'ir, to the azab of Jahannam. Because following your parents can save you if they are on the right religion. It's a double-edged sword. दो धारी तलवार है. It can go in your favor, it can go against your favor, against you. So born in a Muslim family is a good answer, is an honest answer. I won't say that good answer is a truthful answer. बाकी लोग, चले एक बंदे ने तो आंसर दे दिया, बाकी लोग क्यों मुसलमान हैं? These are questions we need to think about. This will increase our marifat. And if you're not thinking about them, your kids are thinking about them in college and universities, they are faced with these questions. And if they don't get addressed and they don't get answered, then becomes a problem down the road. Ji, why are you Muslim? क्योंकि वो एक है. Okay, because he is one. Anyone else? और कोई answer? मामूलन when I do these workshops 5-6 answers मिल ही जाते हैं मुझे.
Allah's belief, yeah.
Right. So every child born is born on the fitrat of Allah.
Yeah.
Okay. So शायद वो कुछ और हो, आपके वालिदैन ने आपको मुसलमान कर दिया. How does this go in your favor? आप ही कह रहे हैं ना वो मुसलमान क्रिश्चियन वाला मुसलमान पैदा हुआ था, उनके माँ बाप ने क्रिश्चियन बना दिया.
Yes.
वो ये कह रहे हैं कि ये क्रिश्चियन पैदा हुआ था, इनके माँ बाप ने मुसलमान बना दिया. The religion we are on, what proof do you have that that is the right religion? So yeah, we are getting the first question is why we are Muslims, and the fact that we are born in a Muslim family, we are Muslims. That is one answer. And if you go a step further, if you look for other reasons, there might be people who would say, I am a Muslim because I found Islam to be the true best religion.
Yeah.
That is also one reason.
Definitely now. If we go into depth, then we have got several answers now. But first, like
Yeah.
the initial statement, I thought we went to why we are Muslim without thinking about it. That's what I said. Because we go into
So let us go a bit deeper. Let us go a bit deeper. People do a lot of things. What you say? Tell me about yourself. Huh? This is a real religion. Christians would say this is a real religion for themselves.
It's the only religion that doesn't have any doubts. It ticks up all the boxes. If there's any doubts, it answers your doubts.
Like what?
If you got any doubts about Tawheed, it tells you what oneness of Allah is. If you look at Christianity, there's a lot of questions that they don't have answers to themselves, whereas in Islam, you've got answers to all the questions.
Okay. Good answer. You have answers to all the questions. There are there are questions that you don't have answers to. There are, right? No.
You would have questions, but
When it comes to witnesses, one man is enough. But when you have women, you need 2 witnesses.
yeah. But to get to that level, you need to understand the top level, right? So once you've understood the top level, the oneness, whereas when you're comparing yourself against Hinduism or yourself against Christianity, you tick that box, and then you start going yourself into the second level. Then you tick that box. But what you're asking is about the deepest level, where you're told that that's the questions that Allah has given you the guidance in, and that's it. Because once you start asking those questions,
So
and
these questions come later on. After you
That's-
accepted Islam,
that's
then
my point.
you will justify the ahkam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after accepting Tawheed.
Correct.
Right?
But
So
first you go to the Usul-e-Din first, like a
so we go to the Usul-e-Din, right? Yeah. So okay. So now getting to that Usul-e-Din section, and before we start doing the Usul-e-Din, I just wanted to show how Islamic teachings are divided into 3 important parts, and how we are making one significant mistake. So we have usul, or we call beliefs. Then you have rules, or ahkam. And the third part of religion is? No, furu yahi hai aapke. ठीक है? Is akhlaq. Farak kya hai? What is the difference between these 3 parts? Usul, the beliefs, they have to do with your mind. Tafakkur. Ahkam, rules have to do with your actions or body. And akhlaq has to do with your
relationship,
relationships, but more precisely soul. ठीक है? हाँ, वो हम जो अखलाक की बात करते हैं, interaction with others, that is one limited aspect. It is more deeper than that. It is how you deal with your soul. आप अपने नफ्स के साथ कैसे डील करते हैं, ठीक है? अहकाम है आपके अपने actions के साथ कैसे डील करते हैं. Mind, so these are the things. Mind में आप these the important questions like how do I know there is a God? How do I know the Holy Prophet is the messenger of Allah? How do I know Imam Ali is the Imam? How do I know there is a Qiyamah? Okay? These questions are addressed here, not here. यहाँ पर क्या है? Fasting, Salat, Hajj, Zakat, Hijab, Homes, all of that, right? और अखलाक में क्या है? यहाँ पर जिस तरह just as your body gets sick and healthy, your soul can get sick and healthy. ठीक है? Your soul can get sick, it can get healthy. ठीक है? There are virtues that the soul can acquire, like bravery, sakhawat, compassion, and then there are vices that the soul can acquire. ठीक है? The topic, the teachings of Islam that deal with the soul, its virtues, its vices, how to figure out that your soul is sick, and how to cure that illness from your soul. ठीक है? That is dealt in akhlaq. ठीक है? किसी को हसद की बीमारी है, ठीक है? किसी को गीबत की बीमारी है, किसी को कोई बीमारी है, किसी को तकब्बुर की बीमारी है. So akhlaq, this teaching of Islam deals with those vices, and then it tells you what the symptoms of those vices are, what are the symptoms of those virtues, and how to inculcate those symptoms or how to get rid of those vices. जी जी, वो बीमारियां, जितनी भी बीमारियां, वो they fall in this category. ठीक है? तो that is very important. And क़यामत में सक्सेस किस शख्स की है? Man atallaha biqalbin, who comes to Allah with a salim, with a healthy heart. ठीक है ना? वो healthy soul की बात है. कल्ब से मुराद ये वाला दिल नहीं है वहाँ पर. It's not this heart. Whoever comes to Allah with a healthy soul, he is successful. कामयाबी उसकी है. One of the purposes in this world is to get rid of the vices and nourish the virtues that we have. Yes? Louder, please. Repeat करते हैं what he's saying. Virtues are good qualities like bravery, giving in the way of Allah, seeking good for others, seeking good for your neighbors. These are the virtues, good qualities. And then there are bad qualities that you don't like anyone else. You discriminate people on the basis of their race or skin color or whatever, or on the basis of their wealth. You respect those who are rich and you don't respect those who are poor. This is a disease of the soul. ठीक है? यहाँ पर you have the right to question. इस्लाम ने आपको इजाज़त दी है, सवाल करो. Ask questions here. You have the right to ask questions. Okay? Now, what about fasting and rules, when it comes to rules? Okay. This is more of a submission here now. Right? In our communities, where do you find people asking questions? Here or here? Here. Why fast and why salat and why hijab and why beard and why this and why that? All of that. Here. How many questions are asked here? How many do we encourage? Okay. So because we have suppressed questioning here, all of the questions have arisen here. Had we answered their questions here, there would be zero question here. Make sense? So, for example, had they realized, had they accepted that there is a Lord, and that Lord is my creator, and that creator knows me better than myself, then if he says me to fast, then it is good for me. Then you will not say, well, why should I fast? What is the benefit? I don't know the benefit. I'm not going to fast until I know the benefit behind it. That will come when you do not accept Allah as someone who knows you better than yourself. So there's a problem in aqaid, in your belief, in your Rasul. Once this is clear and this is in place, it's just like you have the choice of deciding which university you want to go to. You're open to that choice. But once you get admission into a university, then you have to follow the curriculum and rulings of the university. You have to take 16 credits, you have to do this, there are 2 quarters or 4 quarters or 2 semesters, whatever. You cannot now say, I'm not going to follow your rules until you explain to me why 16 credits are necessary. You lose that right after getting admitted into university. You have that option before you choose a university. You look at different universities, you pick the best one. And once you pick that best university, then you have to submit to the rules of that university. Same with religion. There are so many religions. You pick the best religion that you think. Now that you have figured out the usul, now you have to submit. Here, there is submission. Okay? Or agar if there is a, yes, you have the right to ask questions to increase your knowledge and increase your wisdom, to understand the wisdom behind fasting, the wisdom behind prohibition of interest, and the wisdom behind hijab and all of that. It's perfectly okay to ask those questions, okay, to increase your understanding. But to ask these questions conditioned on the fact that I'm going to follow them only if I understand the reason behind it, that means that you have serious problems here. Any questions? Okay, so this is what we are going, this is the area that we are going to be discussing in the coming days, inshallah. So let us get to a more deeper question then. We believe in the oneness of God. We believe there's only one God. If somebody was to ask you what is your reason, why do you believe in one God? Why you are a Muslim, but now what is the reason that you can offer to somebody, you can present to somebody? कोई आपसे दलील मांगे आपके इस्लाम की, आपके ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह कहने की. How would you answer that? Okay. The uniformity of the universe. If there were 2 gods, there would be dispute. How do you know that? Okay, good. Others? Maybe there are. Maybe there is a Rasul in Saturn that we don't know about. Maybe in different planets, there are different Rasul in different planets. Maybe. I'm just playing the devil's advocate here. Yeah, I'm getting. How did you get to that belief? Oh, so that's the problem. That's the problem over there, right? how did you come to that realization that this is true? जी और कोई अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद उन पे आंखें बंद करके एतमाद किया है या उन पे कैसे एतमाद किया है? Another question, important question. Did we, the logical flow क्या है? पहले खुदा को माना फिर उसके नबी को माना या पहले नबी को माना फिर उसके खुदा को माना? Did we believe in God first and then his prophet, or first in his prophet and then God? Huh? So he's saying first God, then the prophet. He's saying no, first prophet, then the God. So you see, we have now two schools of thoughts here. One school is saying that Allah, we believed in Allah first and then his prophet. But there, yes. ह्यूमंस का एक क्रिएटर हो गया, उसका लायंस का डिफरेंट क्रिएटर है, टाइगर का एक और क्रिएटर है, ठीक है ना, वो एक जैसी हैं, वो सब एक जैसी है, उसका एक क्रिएटर. There are volcanoes and there's war going on, there's evil in the world and there's all of that. You look at that, you see that maybe there are two gods. There's evil in the world. We look at you said look at it from the holistic perspective, right? There are problems. There's volcanoes. There people die. So many things happen. So God has been introduced to you through the Prophet and the Imam. So first the Prophet, then Rasul, then God. Right? So you knew of God before the Prophet told you, or reverse order? So if a person was born in an island and did not have access to mankind, he would not know about God. तो फिर पहले खुदा है कि पहले नबी है? Just a minute, yes. We don't have much. These discussions, generally when we have these workshops, it's like 90 minutes or 2 hours at a stretch. So we are going to finish it in 45 minutes. So answers, let's keep the answers short and not go on tangents. So let us move on. So one of the reasons I'm hearing is we know that there is God because of our fitrat, but then there are people who don't believe in God. They're also there. So how would you marry these two different ideas? So what is right and what is wrong? You believe in God, there are people who don't believe in God. Okay? Number one. Uniformity, there is people might claim that there is disorder in this universe as well. There are forces of evil and there are forces of good, and they're always clashing with each other. So maybe there are two sources, two creators up there, a creator of good and the creator of evil. And there's a fight going between the two, and they have their own armies here. That's one worldview, one way of expressing it, right? How do you know yours is right and that one is wrong? We need to know that, because if we can't solve this here, there will be problems down the road. Then you'll have this question, well, if Allah is so powerful, why is he not stopping the genocide in Gaza? That's a question everybody has in their mind. To agar Allah Khuda und alam hai, if there is God, then why is He not doing anything? Right? It comes. They don't say that because they're afraid. Right? They're afraid to that. So that's why I was of the opinion that we should not relay this online, so that people can express their questions clearly and get answers. Because if you don't solve these questions, that the seed of distrust in religion will be sowed in their hearts. And eventually it will turn into a mighty tree. Okay? So that is why it is important to address these issues and understand Tawheed clearly. How much time do we have left? It's 4 minutes. Okay. I can start the next topic right now. So any other? Tomorrow we'll start with this question. I will present the atheist version of no God. I'll present an argument that there is no God, and see if you can break that argument. You can and find out if there are any flaws in that argument. And then from there we will then look at the Islamic perspective of fitrat, and then two proofs of the existence of God. One is a simple proof, the other is a bit complicated, and that is why we are having this workshop, for that proof. And once we are done with that proof, then you can answer all of the questions that we are trying to answer today, for example. For example, I'll leave at this question. Your God is a selfish God. Easy. Because he does not allow you to worship anyone else. And if you worship somebody else, he'll throw you in hell. That is not being selfish. आप उसकी इबादत करें या ना करें, उसको फर्क पड़ता है कुछ? He's not creating anything. It's just jealousy, right? Is God mutakabbir? Is God proud? So Allah is saying, I am mutakabbir, and no one else should be mutakabbir. You follow the question? How do you answer this question? You following the question? Right. So there are no wrong answers. I'm just pushing the envelope so that we can be more firm in what we believe in. Right. So the time is over. Today, inshallah, will continue. Please come on time, because once you miss the first 5-10 minutes, and you would not know. You have to wait another day for that. Inshallah, we'll continue Jazakumullah.